us from the cell. Watch the bodies hit the floor. You know she's always leaving you wanting more. You can't hide from her too soon. Here comes Detective Legacy Moon. Legacy Moon.
Hello, 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 and welcome. I am Legacy Moon, and this is True Crime and Mysteries. Now, we are going to do something different on tonight, okay? But before we get into it, let me see who's here. And I want to let y'all know I was dead on time, okay? Dead on time. But every now and then, this is only the second time this has ever happened to me since I've been using Evmux. It'll say, I'll be trying to, start the show. And it'll say that it's initializing and it's taking longer because of the high demand of people logging in at this very moment. So my theme music had done started, played all the way through and started over again before I could get in here. Okay, but I was dead on time. Let me see who is here. We got Say J, Aunt Natty, Justin's mom, Mary Willis. We've got them folks here. Shark Tank Life, Michi 3. Hey, let's talk about it all, boo. Mai Tai, she's an introvert. Lunar Brain, Fireheart. How are y'all doing? Shout out to you if you are in the bushes. And shout out to you if you are a part of the replay gang, okay? So we're going to get into this lady who took a trip to Bali with her friends. Who knows who's right and who's wrong? And I don't know if I'm gonna finish this tonight. This is gonna, it might be a part one, part two. But nevertheless, we are going to look into this and listen to her story. Hey, Libra girl, Faye, Mama J. No more ponytails. So we're going to get into this. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do it in two parts or not, but we're going to get into it. And I want to see if you guys is, because I'm going to give my commentary, but I do want to know if y'all's comments are the same as my comments were as I was watching this, okay? So, hey, Life Unleashed, let's get into this mess right here. Okay, this is, let me move these comments and let me see if I can make this bigger. Let me do that. I'm gonna make this, I'm just gonna do this so that it's bigger. I might cover the comments, but that's okay. I just want to make this bigger for now so y'all can see it. All right. So, I'm gonna, and now there's gonna be some things that are muted, but that is because, the music that is playing, I can't play. So, Bell Tower's my home. Did I speak to you? Hey. And Southside Chi-Town, what's up? Okay. So, here we go. Okay. I was trying to figure out what to do. Hit play, okay? And where's the mute button? All right, here we go, y'all. Everybody. So she took this trip to Bali. She says broke and still ate. She's eating up the girls. She did all these nice excursions. And, like I said, she says she's broke, but she still ate. This is what she is saying, all right? I don't know why anybody would want to even make a big deal of this, but yeah, she ate. All right, now let's get into when she arrived, okay?
20 hours to Bali for a birthday girls trip. I spent thousands of dollars to be there. The trip looked amazing on the outside, but things started to quickly turn weird. I arrived before everyone, And when I showed up, I was assigned a tiny twin-sized bed. I bought it up because I physically couldn't fit comfortably. And somehow, I ended up being called ungrateful. But I let it go and continued to enjoy the trip. But the real drama didn't even happen in Bali. A month later, when I bought it up, I was basically told I invited myself on the trip. I flew.
So she's going on this girls' trip with someone, and it's going to get a little bit more interesting that she's friends with. It was a girls' trip, and so you see her first problem with when as soon as she lands, she is put in this bed, that's supposed to be twin, but it's two little, I mean, I'm sorry, full, but it's two little twin beds pushed together, okay? Now, I could imagine that this is probably the standard. That is in Bali, is in like an Indonesia country where people are tend to be smaller. So I can understand why the beds were small. So she approached the girl who organized the trip to tell her about it, and she was still stuck in that same old bed. Okay.
Guys, I'm back with part 3 of this video. Hopefully it's the last one.
Now this is part 3, and I did this way for a reason, although I can't remember why, but this is part 3 of her story. It doesn't matter because she repeats a lot of it anyway. Bell Towers My Home says was a portion she paid small size need portion. I don't know. But see, here's I don't like one-sided stories because she's telling me this is the bed she had, but I would have liked it if she had shown the other beds so that I could say, well, how come all the other girls get these beds and she's got stuck with that one? So I really would have wanted to see the other beds. Say J said, but everyone else got regular beds. Lady Red Rose, hey, says, hello, hey, everyone. So, yeah, I just like more information. But let's get into part 3.
I recorded this part twice, and both times you couldn't hear me. So hopefully, third time's the charm, please. So I told you guys how she did come to my birthday party.
Wait a minute. Let me see something. Let's do this one.
I flew 20 hours on a birthday girls trip and was basically told I invited myself. First, I want to say thank you to everyone for the love on my recap video. I worked really hard on it, as you guys can see, and it's showing in the comments and the views. And I appreciate you guys for wanting to hear my story. So I'm gonna get into it. This is someone I've known for a long time.
Hey, Bible lady.
We connected again a few years ago.
This is someone she has known for a long time, but she just reconnected with them. Put a pin in that. Them folks said that's cold, invited herself. Bell Towers My Home, but did she invite herself? Aunt Natty said if it was a girls' trip, why didn't they arrive together? Thank you very much, Aunt Natty. Because my thing is this, if we all the girls' trips that I've ever had, I was usually in charge of them, but I went to the travel agent. I went to the travel agency and everybody had to pay at the same agency. And I'm talking about, there's another time where, I went and there was somebody who lived in New York, but they contacted the travel agent. So we all arriving together at the same time. Even though one person's coming from another state, we all got there at the same time. So I found that to be a little weird, a little off. But hey, Miss Niecy. Miss Niecy said, I was about to watch this earlier today. I'm glad I waited. I'm glad you waited too. Let's continue.
And once we had reconnected, everything seemed cool. In 2025, we were both turning 30, and she decided to do a birthday trip to Bali. I decided to do a birthday trip to Tulum, and also a homeless food drive. But also keep in mind that we both planned our trips around the same time. My trip was done planning around February, and I believe her trip was she sent out invites around February also. Around the month of February, she had added me to her notes invite, and that's how I knew about the Bali trip. Shortly after that, she kept coming to my house to plan this trip. Like, I was giving her advice on what to do. I was calling people all the way in Bali, using my having to pay for international calls to help her and get information on restaurants, flights, and all that other stuff. Please keep in mind, at this point, I was not supposed to go on a trip.
My question is, if this other girl was the birthday girl and she wasn't even supposed to come on the trip, right? She wasn't. So you heard what she said. Why was she then the one who was organizing everything? See, I like things to make sense. That's all I'm saying.
I had told her, oh, I couldn't go because I was planning my own Tulum trip, which I had paid for in full. Now, just a side note, it really has nothing to do with the story. But when I was going on my trip, something happened with the airline to where my trip had to be canceled. So I ended up getting all my money back. I still booked the trip to Tulum, but when I had booked it later on, surprisingly, it was thousands of dollars cheaper. I wanted to go on a yacht for my birthday in Tulum, but instead of actually putting that money towards the yacht like I wanted to do, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be a good friend and I'm
Repetition, y'all. I am not starting over. I'm not messing up. I'm not making a mistake. This is how this thing is flowing and going.
going to put this money towards Bali. So I started putting that money towards Bali and I got my flight. Only reason why I know what flight to get is because I was invited and put into the notes. But anyways, I helped her plan it and then I booked my flight. But mind you, Bali is not around the corner. Bali is a 20-hour flight. Day of the trip, we all fly out. We're all on different airlines. Well, I'm on a different airline from the other girls. We were all supposed to land at the same time. Whatever happened, I end up landing before everyone else except for one other girl who also took a different airline from all of us. And she got there a couple hours before I did. So once I got to the Airbnb, this is what I walk into. 2 tiny twin-sized beds. Now also, we're in the continent of Asia. Anyone that knows Asia knows that everything in Asia is smaller. So don't think US twin-sized bed. Think Asian twin-sized bed. Now, just looking at me, you guys can see I'm big as fuck, right? I'm almost 300 pounds. I know my body and I know what I can comfortably fit in and what I can't fit in. So off rip walking into this room, I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I knew I was going to be in a shared room, but I've never in my life seen a shared room with twin-sized beds in it. That's the part that was confusing for me. Please keep in mind, before I had even got to the airport, I landed at like 12 a.m. the day of her birthday. And while I was at the airport, I texted her, happy birthday, happy Bali birthday, baby, or whatever. Please keep that in mind because this message is going to be important for later on in the story. But as I'm in the Airbnb, I basically text her and I'm like, hey, boo, I'm texting her about the bed. I'm like, hey, boo, the bed isn't what I thought it was. I can't physically fit in the bed. Is there like, can one of the smaller girls switch rooms with me and, you know, be accommodating or whatever? A few girls on the trip were small in size. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe one of the girls might want to switch, you know, or whatever. My mom has always told me growing up, closed mouths don't get fed, asking the door shall be open. So I'm just texting her, hoping for some type of like remedy. But also, we're in Bali. And honestly,
Now, let me say this. If I was on my flight trying to get to Bali because this is my birthday trip, I ain't even got there yet, and you are sending me complaint texts. And I want to know this. I never travel anywhere without seeing. Now, I know you can sometimes look at something and then when you get there, it's not what it is. But Bali is a travel, people travel there, you know. People go there. People go to tropical islands and whatnot. So I am sure that hotel was online. Well, it wasn't even a hotel. I think it was like a condo. So I'm just trying to figure out this, since she's such a traveler, why didn't she look to see what the rooms were like? Because I know I always do. And that doesn't mean when I get there the bed's comfortable, but I always at least look to see what I am getting. Hey Rossi, hey Mimi. Bible lady said, why are you bothering her on her birthday with your gripes? Okay, see? That's why I just wanted to see, was it just me? Okay.
I could sleep on a cold hard floor anywhere. So it's not like an issue. It's just like closed mouths don't get fed. So ask, and maybe someone might want the twin size beds. Who knows? Like, and then we could like move on from that. I'm just asking for some type of resolution here. And instead of having a normal conversation with me, this girl texts me back and says, it's given a little ungrateful for a bed that I paid for? You're losing me. When she said I was ungrateful, it completely pissed me off because I'm like, ungrateful? Me? That's not making sense. And I was confused on how I was being ungrateful just by like asking a question. Like, it's not like I'm not complaining here. I'm just simply asking the question. Would anyone else like to switch? It pissed me off. So I want to
Oh
answer this.
shoot. I'm sorry, y'all.
I flew 20 hours.
Oh.
This is part,
Oh.
I think, 4 of this girl trip saga.
Wait
Hopefully
a
this is the
minute,
last
y'all.
part
Wait a minute.
because
I'm
honestly, I'm
sorry.
tired of it. So the last part left.
I am so sorry, y'all. Y'all was right. Y'all was probably right in there, and I just. I'm sorry, sorry, sorry. Wait a minute,
I
y'all.
flew 20 hours on a birthday girl's
We
trip,
not. We not.
smaller. So
Okay, here we go.
pissed me off because I'm like, ungrateful? Me? That's not making sense. And I was confused on how I was being ungrateful just by like asking a question. Like, it's not like I'm not complaining here. I'm just simply asking the question. Would anyone else like to switch? It pissed me off so bad. I went in the bathroom and cried that night. And I had plans to make everyone on that trip miserable for the whole trip. But then after
Y'all hear that? This is like the first video she recorded, I think, and she says after that text, it's given ungrateful. She made up her mind then and there that she was going to make everybody's trip miserable. So that's giving you a window into her mind. That was your first instinct? Oh, she want to send me a text like that, giving ungrateful? Okay, well, I'm going to make everybody's trip miserable. Okay, y'all got that right. My Tai said, no, they don't want to switch. Justin's mom said that was rude. It's given ungrateful. I don't think that I would have never texted that. I would have said something to the effect of, well, we'll discuss it when I get there or something like that. But to me, both of them are wrong. I don't think this lady is on her flight. I thought it was wrong for her to bother her while she ain't even got there yet. And then I thought it was wrong for the girl to text her back that, but I can't remember if she showed that particular text, but I don't know that that's necessarily true, that that's what the lady said.
going to sleep and waking up, I kind of figured like, we're in Bali. Maybe she's like overwhelmed with planning this trip and it's her birthday. She probably feel like I'm coming to her with complaints on her birthday. I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? It's not that serious. Like, we can have a conversation about this later once we get back to America. We're in Bali. I spent thousands of dollars to be here. It's her birthday. I love this girl. So I'm like, it's really not something we can't talk about. So I put a mental note in my head to make sure I have a conversation with her about that back in New York. But as the trip went on, I continued to enjoy my trip. And we had ourselves a good old time, which is why a month later, when she told me that I invited myself, I was like, huh, girl? And that's where everything went left and everything blew up. I flew 20 hours on a birthday.
Okay, so that was that one. Hey, Ray Della Lewis, Jane. I don't know if I spoke to you, Mimi, and Make Beauty Forever. Okay, so let me see. Is this part two?
So I want to answer this question real quickly. She had said, why did you have to share a room when everyone paid the same amount as you first come, first serve? Now, everyone didn't pay the same amount. We had an Airbnb. There was 5 rooms in the Airbnb. Like I told y'all in my first part, I wasn't originally going on this trip. Once she had told me she was going to Bali and she told me it was like 3,000 plus, I said, I don't know about that. I'm going on my own trip and I already paid $3,000 to go on this trip. Now, like I said, the trip ended up getting canceled, and when I rebooked my Tulum trip, it ended up being $800, from $3,000 to $800. So that's why I said it ended up being thousands of dollars less.
First of all, you had a trip that cost $3,000 and then it went down to eight. Something ain't right, okay? Now, Bible Lady said it's giving ungrateful. Leads me to believe there's something missing. Was there a favor done? Was there a compromise? She's leaving out something. CJ says, you just said you could sleep on the floor, yet you proceeded to complain about the bed. Uh-huh. Hey, Diva Law, how are you? All right, y'all. Hey, Nesto's handy girl.
So I was like, okay, cool. Now I can put this money towards Bali. So then that's when I put my money towards Bali. By that time, it was like June, maybe July. By that time, there were 6 other people that was going on the trip who already put down their deposit for the Airbnb. Now there was single rooms and there were shared rooms. Now everyone was supposed to share a room because again it's 5 rooms and 7 girls.
When I book my trips, also, yeah, I want double beds, and I want 2 double beds. Okay, I don't want to sleep in the bed. Well, I'm not. I want my own bed. Sorry.
Everyone was supposed to share a room besides one person or maybe 2 people. They paid to have their own rooms, and everyone else was supposed to share a room. Now, a little note. From jump, I wanted to share my own room. I had told her that. I even have the text messages. But I'm gonna show those later on in my other story time parts. I had texted her from the beginning, like, I want to be in my own room. I know myself. I wanted to be in my own room and I wanted to pay for my own room. She kept telling me she didn't know because this amount of people was supposed to be going and the rooms were already allocated and all this other stuff. So cool. I don't mind sharing a room if I have to share a room. Like, it's not that serious. But some people paid $400 something to be in their single room. Some people paid 200 and change to be in the shared room. The only option for me at the time that I started booking my stuff was the shared room. So I accepted the shared room. But I did not know that shared room meant twin size bed. I go on trips a lot. And I have friends that I normally go on trips with and we have no issues. I always go on trips with them. And we've been in shared rooms multiple times. Even in Tulum, we were in a shared room with my 2 best friends, and we did not have twin-sized beds. So that's why it was confusing. And also on the site, it said double bed. On the Airbnb booking, it said double beds. So I was not expecting to walk into twin-sized beds. Had I known that twin-sized beds were going to be on the menu, I would have declined. Not because I don't fuck with her, not because I didn't want to go, but just because I know my comfortability, and it's like, I don't want to be sleeping like a mummy. So that's just basically what it was. Now, granted,
Can I just say technically it was a double bed because they pushed 2 twin size beds together? I'm just saying. Bell Tower is my home says share a room could mean a cot and a couch. Girl, sleep on your side. She's an introvert, said them folks. She definitely sounds like a problem. And them folks says she's talking too much, which means she's guilty.
when I got there and I looked through all the rooms, every single room had one big king size bed
King.
besides mine. Mine was the only room that had 2 beds in it, 2 twin size beds. And my thing is, if everyone was supposed to be sharing a room, why everyone's beds not set up the same way? Why everyone's beds has one bed and mine is 2 separate twin size? Like, I was confused. And she didn't tell me what room I had until I landed, which kind of made me think this was like premeditated. You waited to the last minute to tell me what room I was going to get because you knew that that's not something I would choose for myself. So you made it so I had no choice but to take this.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not paying thousands of dollars for a trip and I don't know what room I'm getting. That's not going to happen, okay? It's just not.
Just to clarify a lot of things, because people have a lot of questions and a lot of people are confused. So when people are asking me, was I added to the trip late? Yes, but no.
Yes, but
There
no.
was another girl, her actual sister, who was added after me, who sent in her deposit for the Airbnb after me. So I wasn't the last person on the trip. So if the rooms were allocated by first come, first serve, I shouldn't have gotten the twin size bed regardless. Everybody's asking what was her response when I told her that I was coming.
I'm sorry. Wouldn't that make you the second to the last? If is it my mistake? Somebody please tell me. Is it my mistake? So the sister I guess was going and didn't go and she paid, but that makes her the last. And is nobody else thinking like this? I'm just okay.
This is what it was. As you can see, she tells me, oh, it's lit. I'm hyped. You got your flight, as you can see in the screenshot. The good thing about getting new phones is that when you pay for your phone, you can keep it. I'm recording on my 17 now. This is my 15 or 16 or something that I had. Yeah, I have all the messages from a year ago. So, yeah. Also, as far as the bed situation, why did I expect people who paid for single rooms to change their rooms to shared rooms? I wasn't thinking that at all. Again, like I said in my first part video, I was raised as closed mouths don't get fed, asking you shall receive. Everybody has their little quirks to them to where they don't like certain things. So
Okay, closed mouths don't get fed. That is something that I have heard too growing up, but it's a situational thing. In that instance, that wasn't that what to me that's not a closed mouths don't get fed instance. That is you already complaining about your accommodations and I ain't even got there yet. That's what that is. Bell Tower is my home. Thank you for the super chat. She says I have an important question. Lord have mercy. Uh, Look at this. Where Okay, I have an important question. Where is her bra? What are we gonna do? I thank you for that important question. Bell Tower is my home. All right. Hey, Prima Wanda. Michi3 says you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. That's what my granddaughter teacher said last year. You get what you get and don't throw a fit. And she got what she got. Sorry. Bible Lady said closed mouths don't get fed does not apply to every flucking situation. Mm-hmm. Justin's mom said she is the reason I would never travel with anyone in their 20s or 30s. They are so entitled.
for whatever reason that somebody wanted to change their room, whether it had been the sun was beaming too hard in the thing, or the room was too close to the front door, or whatever. Some of the rooms had two doors, one in the front, one in the back. Mine didn't. That the way you could get out. Somebody probably couldn't have liked that. So for whatever personal reason people wanted to switch a room, I just raised the concern that my bed was like small. So in case anybody wanted to switch a room, they can think of me and they know. And this is another thing. I had stated that in the messages. And when she said that nobody wanted to switch a room, I said, cool, I'll make it work. Because again, like I told you guys, even though the bed caught me off guard, the bed wasn't a argumentable issue, if that makes sense.
What?
It was shocking, but like I said, I could sleep on the floor if I needed to. Like, Let's just be real.
But you complained.
I was just looking for some type of simple remedy just in case. Like, I didn't feel like it was that serious. Now, also, I do want to clarify something in the last video when I said, oh, I feel like this was premeditated. I do want to correct myself because I don't think that this was a plotted plan from like months ago to make me uncomfortable or to make things awkward with me. I think that closer to the time, she probably found out that this was a twin bed and that's what happened. Now, people are saying she probably sent me the notes list because I was helping plan and not because I was actually invited. The thing about that was she sent me the invite as an invite from jump. And I told her that, financial reasons, I probably wouldn't be able to come. But I will try to make something shake. I will try to swing something. I told her that. And don't look too deep into the planning word. She already had an itinerary that she sent in the notes. She had a list of what flight she wanted to take, where she wanted to go. The only thing that she needed help with was securing these appointments and figuring out what days to go
Okay.
to where and how the schedule would be
Is she talking about excursions? What does she mean appointments? I don't know what she's talking about.
situated. And I was helping her do that. One thing you guys need to understand that this is from February all the way. I didn't get my flight until July. June, July-ish. So from June to July, multiple things were happening. We were spending a lot of time together. We had went to Beyonce's Cowboy Carter toy at this time. We would do weekly laundry together. We would go to like barbecues and things like that. We were together. So this Bali trip and this Bali thing was very much the topic of our conversation almost every time we were together. She always knew that I would try and make it. But to take it a step further, this is the conversation we had right before I booked my flight. She had then subsequently again brought up to me. We were in a conversation about something totally different. She brought up Bali to me and said, sis, I wish you were going. It's in the screenshots. She said, I wish you were going. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I was too. And then we went into the conversation about how we were going to try and secure me a flight. Because again, the flight to Bali was like 1,300. Now, if you guys don't know, I'm adopted. My biological mom messed up my credit. Even to this day, it's like shot. So we were trying to figure out ways for me to pay for this flight without me having to shell out a whole bunch of money at one time. I'm a mother also, so again, I'm on a budget. I have my own trip. I'm doing a homeless giveaway as well for my birthday. So there's a lot of financial things going on at this time. So we were trying to find a way to secure a flight for me that I didn't have to pay a whole bunch of money out of pocket. Now, people were saying I shouldn't have wrote her before she got there about the bed. One thing y'all not understanding is that Asia from America is 13 plus hours,
I thought.
not including the 2 hours you gotta wait for customs and your bags, and then the 2 hours to the Airbnb. The reason why
Has anybody ever waited 2 hours at customs? I mean, I know I've been in a long customs line, but 2 hours? Y'all gotta stop with these comments. They are cracking me up. Justin's mom, does she have an IEP? Oh my gosh. Them folks, toy or tour or concert? So all this time she's been hanging out with her, going to the Cowboy Carter. They've been doing things and all of these activities. When I travel, the itinerary and stuff, the flight, all of that, it didn't take almost 6 months for me to get to see. That's what I'm saying. I just okay. All right. So Bell Tower is my home. Thank you for the super chat. She says, "Why are her headlights at her calves?" And she's propping her arms on them. Thank you for the super chat. Bell Tower is my home. Somebody says this Nesto's granddaughter. Prima Wanda says, when I first got on, I thought this was a commercial about phones. Yeah, because she was like, that had nothing to do with anything. I don't know why she had to tell us she upgraded her phone. CJ said, but hadn't she just said she paid $3,000 for a different vacation? Right. Well, her Tulum vacation was 3,000, and and then it turned out to be 8,000. Her trip that was already booked, right? And then it turned out to be 800. So she took that money that was left over after she paid her 800 to the Bali trip. But then somewhere in the when we first started listening, she said that the Tulum trip had been canceled. So I don't know. Mama J said at Legacy, if this wasn't your show, I'd be asleep by now listening to this gibberish. Hey, naturally be yourself. Lunar Brain Fireheart says, I'm just saying she put on a cap. She put on a cap but couldn't put on a bra. Y'all paying attention to the wrong things. We got to dissect this trip, y'all.
We didn't arrive to Bali in time was because their flight in Dubai got canceled. So they had to wait till the next day in Dubai to get on a new flight, then be on that flight for 9+ hours, and
What?
then get to the Airbnb. It took them a whole extra 24 hours from the time that I got there for them to arrive. How was I supposed to wait to bring that up? I don't understand. By that time, I would have been already sleeping in the bed for probably 24 hours at this point. So bringing it up after wouldn't have made no sense to me. And also, in my mind, I'm not thinking that this is an issue because, again, at this point, it's not really an issue. Like I said, like, it's just like,
It wasn't
I'm
an
just
issue.
asking in
It
case.
it wasn't an issue, but it was an issue. Now you mean to tell me they had to fly? They had a layover? Did they have it? Was this a layover that they were aware of? Did she go a day earlier? See, I now I'm all okay. I'm all kinds of confused. Her own words are confusing me.
Someone
Justin's mom said, "Whoever is a Scorpio in the chat, this is your sister."
might want to change when they get here. Like, I don't know. I'm just asking. Like, I don't know. I just grew up in a time where there's no such thing as a dumb question. This is what they told us. I was told you're supposed to advocate for yourself always. I was told that you can communicate with your friends. I guess it's different now in 2025. I don't know with the new generation. I don't know how that works, but yeah. So that was just to clear up a bit of things because you guys were seeming a little confused. But the screenshots will be down below. She very much knew I was going to be there. She knew I was going to be there before. And yeah, just to clarify a
Okay,
lot of things.
so she has to keep clarifying. That's all these videos she's recapping and clarifying because people are in confusement. All right, they are in confusement. So they keep asking her questions because as we're sitting here listening, it's not flowing. It's not making sense. Mimi says, I wonder if she got bad walk by air and no one wanted her in their room. I mean, if you bold enough to go on ahead and invite yourself on a trip, text this woman while she's on a flight, then you should have just went on and slept in other rooms. Shoot. Mary Willis said, I knew she wasn't a Capricorn. And CJ says, girl, you only 2 years older than my son. It's you. It ain't this new generation. All right. Okay. So now let's get into she's still clarifying stuff. So now let me go back up here and play this one, this part. Okay, here we go.
Guys, I'm back with part 3 of this video. Hopefully it's the last one. I recorded this part twice. And both times you couldn't hear me. So hopefully third time's the charm, please. So I told you guys how She didn't come to my birthday party. I mean, my birthday dinner. She didn't. She stole my blunts or whatever, allegedly, because we don't know that to be true. But allegedly, my blunts were stolen.
I don't know why she has this sped up, but yeah, she is the one who sped this up, not me.
So now next day is excursion day, right? And one thing I noticed about her, a common occurrence, is that the day would start off really good, like a high, and then it would dwindle down to like nothing. So on excursion day, I will not lie to you, she was a pleasure to be around. A very nice pleasure. Like, it seemed like things were starting to head in the right direction. But like I said, starts off well, then dwindles down to bullshit. So we went on our excursions, we went ziplining. It was all good. We came back to the hotel, we chilled, and then it was time to go to dinner, right? Now, at dinner, she's on her phone the entire time. And when I say the entire time, like the entire time, like she on FaceTime, talking to whoever she's talking to, hangs up with them, call somebody else, get on the phone with them, hangs up with them, call somebody else, get on FaceTime with somebody else, hang up with them, like type stuff. So it was very extremely rude to me because I come from a very traditional church household, and phones at the table is like, no. Even though we're grown and we all have kids now, and we have our phones at the table because it's 2025, but we just not on full-blown conversations, multiple full-blown conversations at that, on the phone. And it was to the point where even my friends were like, this is kind of rude. And they're not even from traditional church homes and stuff like that. So yeah, girl, you were being rude. So that day ends, and now we're on the last day of the trip. And before we leave, we go to the bar for farewell shots. And
So just so I'm not mistaken, she's mad because her friend was making phone calls. First of all, I wouldn't be in Bali making phone calls to the US of A. I would not do that. But she's mad about that. She's mad about that. I don't understand why, but she is. Them folks said, but were people wishing her happy birthday? Maybe that was it. I don't know. Bell Tower is my home said, what church were they at in Bali? They were not in a church. Hey, Miss Lorraine. Now, the point of her, see, this is the thing. People get on social media and they do story time telling their business and get mad because, as we go through this, she's going to get mad at some of the comments and some of the videos that people were making about her, pretty much saying the same things that you guys are saying, with the exception of what, where is it? People were saying the things that you guys are saying, okay? Hey, Miss Mad About Music. How you doing? Okay. Anyway, so people were saying it's pretty much the same thing that you guys are saying, and like Naturally Be Yourself has said, and she still doesn't have on a bra. Ah, I didn't hear anybody on TikTok saying that, but they were doing a reaction to the story that she chose to post. All right. Did I just say, hey, Miss Mad About Music? I can't even remember. I'm starting to get sleepy. But anyway, here we go, y'all.
when I tell you, we probably took like 5-6 shots each of Don Julio Reposado. So when I tell y'all, Scoops were tore up, we were tore the fuck up. Like, Scoops was done. All of us, like all of us. I will not sit here and lie. Every last single one of us was tore the up. But we was having fun. Like I said, it starts off really well. We was having so much fun. We was in the car listening to Beyonce on the way to the airport. Like, it was really fun. And I was like, okay, things is turning around. Like, and I was so sad that what happened at the airport happened at the airport, because it was like the note ended off on a good trip at that moment until we got to the airport. So when I tell you we was running late to the airport, we was running late. Like, not late to where we would miss our flight, but late to where, like, if you don't hustle and bustle, the flight's gonna leave you type stuff. So when we got to the airport, we had enough time to get food. By the time we was getting our food from the people, our flight was boarding. So that just lets you know how much time we had left at this airport. We were so late. While we went and got food, she wanted to go get liquor. She'd been talking about it the whole trip, basically bringing some liquor back. So she went and did that while we went and got our food. So now when we get our food, we run into the boarding area because they talking about they boarding. She's closer to the boarding area, but more so next to a concierge. So I'm screaming to her like, Tommy, come on. They boarding. So I'm like, Tommy, come on.
Concierge. Isn't it Carcion? It's Carcion, right? Not concierge. Concierge. Okay.
Come on, the plane's about to board or whatever. And she's like, hold on. But I can see visibly in her face that something's wrong or whatever. Or like she has an attitude. I don't know if something's wrong, but I can see in her face that she has an attitude. So now this is kind of where I went wrong. I would say I thought the attitude was with me. So I just left her alone and I went to my boarding area. You know, I'm the type of person, like, when people have attitudes, like, I just like to leave them alone, give them their space. Because I know when I have attitude, I don't want nobody talking to me. Like, please just leave me alone. Let me get myself together, and then we could come back. And so when I saw that she had attitude, I just, left her alone. And I'm like, we get on the same plane. We'll see each other on the plane, right? We get on the plane, and they doing like final call for boarding. Like, she's still not on the plane, so I'm confused. I'm calling her, like, where are you, girl? Like, what's going on? Right before doors were about to close, I see her walking on the.
I'm confused. They didn't fly over together, but they got a flight back together. I don't understand how this is adding up. Concierge. Mimi says she added a syllable. Bobby lady, we can't tase her. This is not body cam. We can't do that. Okay.
Plane. And I'm like, okay, good. She made it. Whew. But again, she has this attitude on her face. So I'm like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? She was like, no, I'm not okay. So I'm like, what happened? Like, what happened? Like, I'm concerned for her now because, like, what the hell just happened? Like, we was all just like, cool. Like, what happened? So she tells me the story. So basically the story is she bought a bottle from the liquor store, and the airport basically told her that she could not walk around with the bottle in the airport, which is normal practice for airports. But when she went to
What?
retrieve the bottle was broke. Now, I don't know how the bottle broke. She didn't specify how the bottle was broken. So I don't know if the concierge broke it or she broke it. I don't know. All I know is that when she went to retrieve.
Is that new? Because every time I go out the country, I haven't been out like since before the pandemic. You can't you can't walk through the airport with alcohol. Is that a new rule? Because that's never been the case for me. Southside Chi-Town. No, I can't slow her down on my end. This is the way she recorded the video, so I can't slow it down at all.
The bottle, it somehow fell and broke. And now she was upset because they didn't want to refund her money, and they didn't want to give her a new bottle.
They're not going to.
When she told me that story, I totally understood where she was coming from because that's messed up. Like, I'm on her side with that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm on her side. Like, if concierge broke the bottle, but I don't know the full story, I wasn't there. But the way she was telling it to me was like concierge broke the bottle. So I'm on her side. Like, that's not right. How they not gonna refund you or reimburse you, like something, give you something for what you bought? And they the one who made the rule that said you can't carry a bottle because if that's the case, she could have carried her own bottle and made sure it was safe, right? But then that doesn't even become the issue. She walks on the plane and she gets to her seat and she sees that someone is sitting in her seat. So that combined with the fact that she's already heated about her bottle, this just sends her over, like basically over her limit at this point. So she's staring at the girl, looking at her like, and when I tell you just standing there looking at her like she's not saying nothing, and she's standing there for like 30 seconds. Like, it's not long, but it's long enough to where it's like awkward. So the flight attendant comes up to her and she's like, are you okay? So Tommy's like, no, I'm not okay. This girl is sitting in my seat. Now, disclaimer, when we had got on the plane, they had told us, like, this is not a full flight. So everybody sit in their seats for checks and balances, basically. And then once that's done, we'll be able to, like, disperse people out. That's what the flight attendant told everyone. But she didn't hear that because she wasn't on the plane yet. Like I said, she was the very last, like when I say the very last person to get on this plane. She didn't hear that. And when I say she was the very last person on this plane, you would have thought that no other people was coming on this plane. So when they let other people sit in other people's seats, that's basically what happened. So let's say this is her aisle right here, and her seat was an aisle seat. And then right next to, on the opposite side of her aisle, was a row full of empty seats. So the flight attendant was like, oh, that's fine. Like, you could just sit right here. Like, you have a whole row to yourself. Like, that's no problem. She's not trying to hear it because she's mad about this bottle. So now she's on the plane giving hell to the flight attendants for basically no reason. So now she had a carry-on bag, and they're telling her, oh, you have to put your carry-on bag in, like, the carry-on overhead bins. So she's like, she's going through the bins, and most of them are, like, full in the back because there's, like, you know, a lot of people in the economy, basically. So it's full, so she had to go to the front and put her bag up in the front. So she goes to the front, and she sees how many empty seats is in the front. So she's walking through the cabin, basically like, oh, why we all got to sit in the back? Y'all put all the black people in the back. Now I'm making it a race issue because the fight is in this white. She's like, you put all the black people in the back. Why we all back here like sardines? Y'all can space us out. Like, why can't I be in the front, this, that, and the third? Basically, like, oh, they need to put her in the front because the person's in her seat and she don't want to sit where the people told her to sit. So the flight attendant is telling her, you cannot make a disturbance like this on the airplane. Like, please go back to your seat, please sit down, buckle your seatbelt, and like, let's get ready for takeover because you came on this really late. But she's pissed about this bottle, and now
takeover.
She's pissed about these seats. So she's just talking, like, she's not talking directly to the lady, but she's just talking out loud, being very hostile, aggressive, and everything. Now, I don't have no more time. I thought this would have been the last part, but there's so much more to talk about that happened on this flight. So come back for part 5, I guess.
Now this is part 3. She says come back for part 5. So Prima Wanda, she had a girls trip and she had these 2 twin beds pushed together. She ain't like that, so she texted the girl on the phone. So basically, she is just complaining about her flight and how things went. Let's see. We had that. Here we go.
Now this is part, I think, 4 of this girls trip saga. Hopefully this is the last part because honestly I'm tired of it. So the last part I left on, I told y'all how the flight attendant basically told her, like, you cannot make a disturbance on the plane, so you gotta sit down, put on your seatbelt, and get ready for takeoff. So she sits down, but she sits down and gets on the phone. She calls someone and she's talking very loud, and the person is on speaker, and she's basically running down the story about what happened. She's talking about her bottle, and then she's talking about the girl who's in her seat.
Oh,
So the flight attendant comes.
that's another thing. I don't know about how that bottle. I don't understand that, because also when I've bought liquor, they put it in a box. Like I said, I don't understand this about not being able to carry it through the airport, and that must be new. But concierge, or concierge as she said it, she's saying broke the bottles. And of course, the store is not going to give you a refund after you paid for it and walked off and it ended up broke. I can understand that. I don't know how, but like I said, we're listening to her story. Now, because she kept posting this, the friend eventually, did a response. So, which I haven't even listened to, because I was just too fascinated with this and seeing, was I being very judgmental about this chick, or would people agree with me? And people are agreeing.
To her and she's like, hey, can you take your phone off the speaker, because you know you can't disturb other people on the thing, and we're about to take off, this, that, and the third. So she gets an attitude with the flight attendant and is like, oh, well, since when I can't have my phone on speaker, this, that, and the third, like, since when that ever been a rule? So the flight attendant is like, well, you're not supposed to be on the phone anyways, but all I'm asking you is to take it off the speaker. So
That's what I was wondering.
Taxiing and about to take off. So she's like, oh, I never heard that to be a rule. Now, personally, granted, they say that every time I get on the plane. Put your phone on airplane mode. Don't be calling nobody. Like, they tell us that. Like, so I don't know what plane she was taking, but they definitely do tell you that. And the lady is like, I'm not asking you to not be on the phone. Like, I'm not even telling you that. All I'm asking you is just to take it off a speaker.
So the flight attendant isn't doing her job when they get ready to take off? Because I thought that you could not be on the phone. So the flight attendant tells her, technically, well, you're not supposed to even be on it, but I'm just asking you to take it off speaker. This is the type of flight attendants we have now. That makes no sense to me. I don't understand. But Bell Tower is my home. Thank you for the super chat. She says, this is to start her headlight holder fund. Thank you for the super chat. Bell Tower is my home. That has really got y'all concerned. So for most of these, you're going to get the same thing. Hair covered up with a hat or bonnet, and nothing to take care of those headlights.
She's giving this flight attendant a hard time. She's basically making the flight attendants the issue about, like, she's basically making the liquor bottle the flight attendant's issue, and the flight attendants have nothing to do with that at all, right? So I guess the flight attendant saw when I had asked her what was wrong, and she was telling me about the seat. So the flight attendant takes it upon herself to come directly to me. She comes directly to me and says, she whispers to me, hey, is this your friend? I'm like, yeah. She's like, can you get her to calm down? Because if she doesn't, they're going to remove her from this flight. I'm like, oh my God. So I gets myself up and I go to her owl and I squat down. Please keep in mind, I'm 300 pounds. So for me to bend that, squat down to talk to her, like, it's serious. So I say, hey, they're basically saying, like, if you don't calm down, they're going to kick you off this flight. She's like, calm down for what? I didn't even do nothing. They're doing this, they're doing that. And I'm like, okay, I understand. That's cool. But we all have to get home. So regardless if you did something or not, if they want to be petty and kick you off this flight, they will. Don't give them a reason to. That's what I'm saying. Don't give them a reason to kick you off this flight. Sometimes as grown adults, we have to just let people have it, because wanting to be right all the time is not going to get you nowhere. Clearly, it's not going to. So after I return back to my seat, the girl then gets on a FaceTime call, another call. She calls someone else and telling them the story very loudly. Like, the lady just asked you to get off speaker. You get on a FaceTime call, and as we know, FaceTime is always on speaker. Unless you have headphones, FaceTime is always on speaker. She gets on another phone call right after she hangs up on the other person. She gets on another one and starts talking loud, screaming, and being aggressive and all this other stuff. When she does that, I watch the flight attendant go from the back, and she walked right to the cockpit. That's when I text my other friend that's also on the plane with us. I said, they're about to kick this girl off the plane. When I saw her walk to that cockpit, I was like, yeah, it's over for her, baby. Like, it's no more. They're getting her up off this flight. The pilot then announces on the thing, he's like, everyone get ready for takeoff. But me, I've been around the block. Like, I've been around the block. I'm not stupid. He's only saying that to calm everyone down so there won't be no, like, breakouts of fights or anything like that. He's just telling everybody that. I know they're about to get her up off this flight. And I'm telling you, 5 minutes later, we look up, who's walking down the aisle? Policia. Here comes Policia coming down the aisle. So they basically go to her. And at this point, again, like I said, I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. So this is where I pull out my phone and start recording. Just for safety. Because I'm like, one, I don't want them to be like, we did anything. Or anything like, I don't know who they called Policia on. I'm quite sure it was her, but they know we all together. So I don't want them to be like, oh, all of them. And then be like, oh, well, they all did this. They all did that. Like, I don't want them to be like, oh, we gave them problems. We was doing this. We hit somebody. Like, I'm just recording for our safety. So just in case anybody try to add stuff to the story saying we did this, we did that, that's not true. I have the video. So I start recording. They come to her. It's basically like, hey, we want you to get off this flight. She's not having it. I'm not getting off this flight. They're lying on me. She starts crying, tears. They're lying on me. I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't, And I'm like, girl, you did do everything they told you. They said that you did. You kind of did do that. Babe, I was watching you the whole time. But, I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to get her in trouble. But she's crying, playing victim. Like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. They lying on me. This and third. And police is like, look, they want you off this flight. There's nothing we can do. She's like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. So now it's, everyone has to deboard because we have to get this girl off the flight. So they let everyone get off. I stayed with her on the flight because I'm like, again, I'm not trying to be a bad friend, but you kind of put yourself in this situation, sis.
No, if they had to deplane, you did not stay on. See, okay. If you had to deplane, they did not let you stay on the flight to keep her calm. There's no reason to keep her calm because they're getting ready to escort her off, okay? So, no. And why does she keep saying policia? Why can't she just say police? She ain't saying no other words, right? Bell Tower is my home. Thank you for... Lunar Brain Fireheart said lion ass. Bell Tower is my home. Thank you for the super chat. She says she must have left her bra on the block. Bell Tower is my home. Thank you for the super chat.
I'm not trying to be a bad friend, so I stayed on the flight with her, and she's the last one to get off. So I'm the last one to get off because I'm walking behind her. I'm waiting for her. She gets off, and then I step off. Policia immediately surrounds her. They immediately surround her. And then the guy, and as I'm walking off, the guy was like, oh, well, y'all can get back on. She's off the plane. So we like, like, what the hell? Like, but again, me not being a bad friend, I stay right there where they...
That's not how, y'all, we didn't watch plenty of airport body cams. That is not how that works. That is not how that works. They don't just deplane everybody for, everybody. First they was about to take off. Then next thing you know, Policia is coming down the aisle. They don't escort her off. They don't talk to her or nothing. They then decide to deplane. And then when everybody gets off the plane, because you were the last one to get off, not her, they surrounded her. Girl.
We have her like detained or whatever. So I'm waiting for them to tell us what the next steps are. So they start leading her down the jet bridge. So I'm calling out to her. I'm like, Tommy, like, where are they taking you? What's going on? She don't even turn around to look back at me. And we're not far away. We're like right next to each other. I'm gonna show you, put the video at the end of this. But we're literally right next to each other. And I'm like, Tommy, where are they taking you? What's going on? She don't even turn around to acknowledge me. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I can take my ass home. I gotta get home to my kid. Like, so everyone gets back on the flight. We buckle up. We take off. So please keep in mind, again, still not being a bad friend. I'm texting her. I'm calling her while I'm on the plane because I'm like, I want to make sure you're okay. And I'm trying to get in contact with her people also on Instagram to make sure that she gets some type of assistance. I'm not going to stay in Mexico to assist her because I have obligations at home. I have a kid. That's why my mouth was closed. I have a kid to get home to. So somebody that fuck with her needs to help and assist her.
I don't know geography. So they left Bali The layover was in. So this incident happened in Mexico. Okay. Mary Willis said, "OMG, she's making this shit up." Diva Law, she has one child. CJ said, "Then you should have left her. Wasn't her sister on the trip? What is up? Was it up to you to be that friend? Why was it up to you to be a friend? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, just the way she's telling this part just don't even sound realistic. Naturally be yourself said, wait, I thought this was Bali. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So this must have been a layover. That's the most I can figure. We're going to watch the response. I'll look the girl up. Yeah, I'll look her up.
So boom, I'm calling her, texting her, no answer. My friend is calling her and texting her, no answer. Mind you, we have her location because when we got to Mexico, we all put on each other's location so we could basically be aware of each other. We have her location, so we see where she's at. She's at the Mexican authorities place, whatever, the precinct. I don't know what they call it in Mexico, but that's where she's at. But she's not answering our calls or anything. So when we finally land,
because they take your phone,
we get to see her Instagram stories, and basically she's on Instagram saying like, you know, she's in Mexican jail, she's going to update everybody, right? But when we land, one of my friends get a text from one of the guys, and basically guy saying, why did this girl just text us saying that, you know, if she dies or something like that, know that the Mexican police did it. So we're confused because we're like, girl, we've been texting and calling you. You have not responded to any text messages or anything that we sent, but we're confused because we're like, we've been texting you and calling you this whole entire time, worried about what the fuck going on with you, but you're not responding to us. But you're texting these boys, being hella dramatic, talking about, oh, if I die, if I did it, just know that. It's like, girl, you want attention. Like, you really just want attention. You don't feel like you're in danger. You don't feel like you're in harm. You just want someone to be on your BBL. Basically, that's what you want. You want someone to be on your BBL, and we're not gonna do that. So once we saw that, that's the type of
wait a minute. PYT. PYT says, wait, how they get from Bali to Mexico? Like I said, I don't know geography, but that doesn't make any sense to me. If for that to be the layover, but I'm not going to say too much because I don't know. But CJ says, no, because why are they coming from the other side to get back home when they went across the Atlantic to get there in the first place? This girl doesn't know geography. CJ says that they went to Bali, Mexico, because Mexico would not be the layover from Bali if the first layover was in Dubai the first time. Well, you know, CJ, I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't want to comment because I don't know I ain't gonna lie. I know the geography that I want to know as it pertains to the US of A, but all the other countries, will I go? Can I go? Yeah, but I don't know the geography. So thank you for that because I was thinking that, but I didn't want to speak on it because I didn't necessarily know if I was right.
Vibe she was giving, we basically left it alone. Me and my friends, we left it alone. We got to New York. We went about our business. She was sitting in Mexican prison for 2 days, whatever fuck she had going on. And that was it. The girl made it back to New York. I still have her on Instagram, and I'm watching her Instagram because, I want to make sure she gets home safely. Like, I'm never that type of girl. I'm not going to leave you stranded. I'm not going to do none of that. And I'm going to make sure you're okay. So I'm looking at her stories. I'm trying to make sure that she gets home safe. And I'm looking at her location. I'm trying to make sure she gets home safe. But also, I'm leaving her alone because I don't know how she feels. She probably feels some type of way, and that's cool. So I'm going to leave you alone. But also, I'm also going to make sure you get home safely because you came on this trip for me. Allegedly. It doesn't seem like you came on a trip for me, but you came on this trip for me. So I'm going to make sure you're okay. Once I saw that she finally got home.
How did... Okay, this was the friends trip, not...
I just left it alone. And then I see that I was unfollowed on Instagram, so I unfollowed her back. And that's just what it was. And that's just what it is. Like, we're no longer friends. She over there on her side, I'm over here on my side, and that's just what it is. I would never go on a trip with her again, and I wouldn't advise anyone to go on a trip with her. Because this is what's going to happen. So that's the end of the story. I'm also going to put the full video of her getting arrested at the end of this so you guys can see that. And yeah, like, that's just what it is. But also, guys, I also want to tell you, I have another trip, another Girls Going Wrong trip, Bali edition. Bali edition that I can tell you guys. Let me know if you guys want that story time because that's tea. And it took me 30 years to realize my friend was a weirdo. It took me 3 decades to realize it. But let me know if you guys want that Bali trip, girls trip going wrong. And I'll give it to you. Let me know.
Right yesterday, lying on me, and I'm not doing it. They said that I opened all of these things when there was no space for my luggage. They said I wasn't sitting in the right seat when this girl just moved. Just now, when they told me to sit back here, and now she's saying I can't be on the phone. I'm not moving out, y'all. I'm off the phone, I'm not moving. She's saying I'm not following flight instructions. How? Because I want my family to let them know she was discriminating against me? No, I'm not. I'm not. He wants me to get off the plane. They lying on me, yes. We She's lying on me. She's lying on me. She's lying on me. I'm looking dead eyes. She's lying on me. That girl just got up and moved. Look at my boarding pass. When you came, she was sitting right here, 26C. That's the aisle. She moved. When I came there, she said, oh, you can sit in the back. I'm in the wrong seat right now because of her. She's upset. Like, what are you talking about? She's lying. No, I'm not moving. I don't trust you. I'm not moving. My luggage is not back here. No, my luggage is not back here because they said I was opening all the bins being belligerent. No, all the bins are crowded and my luggage is up there. You being racist? She's being racist and I'm not allowing it. I'm sorry. No. Nope. And I'm calling everybody, as a matter of fact. I'm calling everybody. I'm calling my family. I'm calling my mom. I'm calling everybody. I'm not getting this. No way. No way, no doubt. I'm not getting this. Whatever. That's the way I got on this plane. She was in my seat and I told her. And they was mad that I was upset because my liquor spilled that they told me I couldn't bring on the plane. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I have video on recording of everything. I opened each bin to put my luggage. And they make me put it up there. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm not fucking over. No. You want to be a carrot? You can be a carrot today. I'm not moving. I'm not moving.
Now, what I don't like about this is she started recording in the middle of. I want to see how this started before it blew up. Lunar Brain Fireheart said, and she's talking about moving by seats, not about being on the phone. What the hell? Justin's mom says, one thing I won't do is argue on a plane. No, because after my trip is over, I'm ready to go home. I don't want no smoke. If they put me in another seat, they put me in, and that has happened. But I mean, hey, I'm not doing it. Prima Wanda said these cotton candy grapes are everything. First time trying them because they are too expensive. I was wanting to try them too, but like you said, they are too expensive. Mai Tai said, who is she arguing with? She was arguing with, now see, he looked like an air traffic controller to me and not the policia. So, and who is this? OT Mom says, it sounds like she's talking about two different trips. Right. It does. So I'm going to go to, now we're going to go out of order because, let me go down to, okay, let's do this one.
And just as I thought, the lion has started. Also, keep in mind, this is a bonnet I got from her trip. But anyways, yeah, the lion has started. So she posted screenshots of conversations. She say in the caption, I wish I had my other phone. I don't know where it is right now. But anyways, she said in the caption that I didn't pay for my Airbnb in full. She says that. She says I didn't pay for AT&V. She said I didn't pay for Fins and I ate well. I don't know what else she said. Full-blown fabrication, full-blown lies. She also said I didn't pay for transportation, and she said I didn't pay for my cave dinner in full. One, Fins, I had told her from jump I was not coming to Fins. Well, I didn't tell her from jump I wasn't coming to Fins. Once she kept changing things around in her trip, and I had to tell her, oh, it's time to buckle down and get in order for things, like, because you're just doing things like, oh, hey guys, I booked us to go AT&V, send me money. How can you book us to do something and then say, oh, send the money? It was very confusing for me because how do you know I have the money for this? So, boom, I told her I was not going.
Then don't go. And just, I did not I've never done excursions in advance, like before I even got to the country. We would, what y'all want to do today? We talk about it the day before, and then we would book our excursions separately. We made sure we were all together, but they were booked. We individually went and booked our own excursions and paid. That way, don't start none, won't be none. That's how you do it.
The Fins. After a while, told her I was not going to Fins. And I wasn't supposed to go to Fins that whole time. I never planned to go to Fins. I didn't even bring a bathing suit to go to Fins. Actually, what happened, because her flight got canceled, we were supposed to go to, they were supposed to go to Fins on the first day that they were supposed to be here. Because her flight got canceled and pushed back, she rescheduled the Fins beach club to the last day. Now, because she scheduled it to the last day, one of the girls that was on the trip had to leave early. So she wouldn't have been there, and she paid. There was no refunds. And I'm already at the resort. The Airbnb. Why wouldn't I? Mind you, I didn't even ask to come. She said because Shorty Doo-Wop can't come and is non-refundable, why don't you come? And I said, okay, why wouldn't I? Like, why wouldn't I? But I never was supposed to go to Finn's. She said I didn't pay for my Airbnb in full. Paid for my Airbnb in full. She's a liar. Actually, what happened was when I gave her my money for my Airbnb, she then took the Airbnb money and allocated it to something else. That's all her planning thing. That really had nothing to do with the whole Bali situation anyway. So like that wasn't nothing to even say. But she took my Airbnb money and allocated to something else, and then texted me later talking about oh, do you have the Airbnb money? And I text her like, oh, I thought I sent you the Airbnb money. She's like, oh, I put it to something else. Wooty wooty woo. Now she's saying, oh, I only sent $200. But here's the messages of her asking me for the rest of the money, and I say, oh, I'm gonna go to the ATM and give it to you. And what did I do? I went to the ATM and I gave her the full money, even for the transportation. Now she's also talking about, oh, I didn't pay for transportation. These are also screenshots of when I did her hair and did her wig, being a good friend, and she lost my dryer hood, which cost $15 on Amazon. Hint, hint. The transportation was $15. So she said out of her own mouth, from her text messages, I'm going to put the text message below, hey, I'm going to put that money towards the transportation. I told her she didn't even have to reimburse me. It's $15. It was nothing. She said, I'm going to put that money towards transportation. So now that she's mad about she didn't get no money for transportation, that's weird shit, delusional shit on her part. Now, ATVing. Now, I will say, I will give her that. I promise you, I will give her that. She's definitely telling the truth on that. Definitely telling the truth on that. She asked me to go ATVing for her thing. I went ATVing to Tulum a week prior. It wasn't nothing I was feeling to do. That girl harassed me, because she harassed me actually about going on ATVing. Even after she called me ungrateful, she texted me and asked me, do you have money on your card for ATV? And I said no as a one-word answer because I was mad. Yeah, I was upset. I did have money on my card, but also you already know I don't want to go ATVing. I told you that. And even when you sent us the party fool invites,
I don't know why this went silent. It's not me. It's her.
I declined the invite to go to ATV. She wanted me to go so bad to go to ATV. I'm not going to pay for something and then have myself in a whole different country asked out. So I told her, oh, if you're willing to front the money for it now.
First of all, you make me sick. Prima Wanda said, girl, your friends don't like you and I understand. Lunar Brain Fireheart said, I thought the Tulum trip was canceled. It was. Say J says, at BB Babies, I get invited to places. If I can't afford to do something, I'm not doing it. I just don't understand. We can have a group girls trip, but we're setting it up individually. Here's the travel agent, contact her. You pay for your own stuff. There's not this getting here, oh, well, can you put this on your card or whatever? No, we don't do that. Now, I will, like, I've gone on trips and, my friend didn't take enough money and I've lent her money and she's paid me back, stuff like that. But, the fact that, we're mixing money and chopping it up and making plans and can I need 5 on this, 300 on that. That doesn't make sense to me. No, we're doing all of this individually. BB Baby said, I'm so confused. Hey, Danae said, I'd rather listen to Sonya than this Lion 304. None of this mess makes sense.
I'll pay you when I get back. Cool, right? Okay, cool. She fronted that money like a friend, allegedly, because clearly she's not a friend. And she did that. But I really did not want to go. And like I said, I had all plans to pay her. When I said in one of my other videos, I had all plans to pay her little thing. But when we got back and that whole situation happened, mind you, she's in my shit talking about she don't even want the money. So I'm confused. And I told her, I will send you the money. Let me know what I owe you and I will send it to you so we can have a conversation about how I felt in Bali. She kept saying she didn't want the money. I showed y'all the messages. Now she said I didn't have enough money to pay for my cave dinner in full. Liar again. My cave dinner was $114 in full, in total, right? You guys can go on the Bali cave site yourself. I had a 7 course with no wine pairing. You guys can look at how much that costs IDR and do the translations. I mean, what is it called? I can't remember, but do it yourself, and you can put it in your phone, and you'll see that my dinner at Cave cost $114 in total. Everybody had to put down a $75 deposit, right?
Here's another thing. When we do girls trips, we or just any trip, if I can't afford what you doing, no, I'm not going to go on this one. These things are talked about before we even get on the trip. Denny Vaughn, how are you doing? Denny Vaughn says, when traveling for the gram goes wrong. Say J says, making wigs and breaking hood dryers, exchanging services for things on a trip. My Tai said, I thought I was the only one in confusion. No, I'm in confusement. This is my second time listening to it.
So 114, my $75 deposit. That means that my total balance would now be about $35, $40, give or take, whatever.
And let me just also put this in there. When I do go somewhere, I pay. I first of all, I want all inclusive, and I eat my meals there where I got all inclusive because I done paid to have meals there. Have I now? If I've gone out and maybe stopped at a side place or someone who's selling on the street or something, yeah. But if we make a plan to go to a restaurant or whatever, we make that plan. I'm just not, no. 175 to me, $175 to eat a meal that I've paid for this trip thousands and thousands of dollars to come here. I'm doing excursions and I am going to pay that much money for dinner. To me, that just sounds crazy to me, and you're on vacation. I don't get that. Thank you so much for the Cash App. Um, Aunt Natty says, I've been in confusion from the beginning. Look, this is this welcome to TikTok, y'all. And when people tell their stories on TikTok.
Cool. Nobody paid for their dinner at that time. Her friend put it all on her card, and everybody was supposed to pay her back once we got
We're
to New
not
York.
doing that.
Boom.
Oh no, I'm putting all the dinner on my card and y'all gonna pay me back when we get back to New York? Uh-uh.
When I had hit her up when we got back to New York to have a conversation about the whole thing that happened, she told me I had to give her $100 for my cave dinner. So I said, hold on, $100 for my cave dinner? My dinner was $114 in total. I gave you a $75 deposit. How do I owe you $100? The math not mathing. You went to college just like I did, so somebody gonna have to
Oh,
make this make sense to me, baby. And it wasn't making sense. But in that conversation, I still told her, oh, I will send you whatever money you feel like I owe you so we can have this conversation. And she kept saying, I don't want it, I don't want it. So please, I don't want to hear nothing about no money right now. Please, I don't want to hear nothing about no money. Please get to the point where you felt like I felt ungrateful. Now, at this time, when she called me ungrateful, ATV was not paid for. And Cave, we hadn't even gone to dinner yet to even have the dinner yet, like nothing. So what was the reason for you calling me ungrateful at that time? Because you didn't pay for transportation for me. Remember, you said you was gonna pay for that to pay for my dryer hood. You didn't pay for my food because, like you said in your post, I paid for my food, even though you text me and said that you paid for my food. And you didn't pay for my flight, you didn't pay for my thing, my room was paid for in full. So what are we talking about? And just as I thought, the lion has started.
okay. So let me where is it? Oh, naturally, let me find it. Let me find it. Okay, naturally be yourself says, sorry, I'm back on the connecting flight to and from Bali. Typically connect through Asia, Singapore, Tokyo, Seoul, and Taipei, or the Middle East, Doha or Dubai. like I said, naturally be yourself. I I'm not that great at like world geography, so I wasn't going to speak on it, but that didn't make sense to me, and I felt like that's what the connects should have been. Okay, that's what I thought. So, but thank you for that, because like I said, I'm not going to speak on something I don't know, and that I wasn't sure, so I didn't mention it. But yes, thank you. I was thinking that. Prima Wanda said everyone will be starving if they think I'm going to put food on my card and you pay me back when we get home. No, 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 no. It ain't happening. So let me get to, okay, now she's saying the lines begin, but I want to, okay, here's the girl, I think. Let's see.
All right, so now that we know the depths of who I am and who Quantasia is,
Yeah, so anyway, she goes through confirming about how everything I said was true and how I didn't lie about Beyonce and all that other stuff. She confirmed how I wasn't the last person added on the trip. There was multiple people added on after that I had booked my thing. Then she goes on to say how when I booked my flight, she was surprised, which doesn't make any sense because as I showed y'all the messages, the night before I booked my flight, we were talking about my credit and how she was going to help me secure this flight. So it's no way you were surprised. Please keep in mind, you sent me the notes inviting me. First of all, you said in the notes, I'm sending this to you in case you're interested or something along that lines. So how are you going to say, oh, I didn't think that was an invite? You girls are delusional. But when you sent that was in February. I didn't book my flight to June. How you?
So she sent this thing, just in case you're interested, right? In February. You don't book your flight or do anything until June. I'd be surprised too when you book your trip.
Didn't know I was coming this whole time, girl. Like, you're not making no sense. But anyways, forget that. Let's get to now the Airbnb. Now she says she offered to let the host fix the beds, to put the beds together. Bold-faced lie. She offered to let her sister, who might I add is a chronic drunk, to fix the bed. She said she knew how to fix the beds, which I'm quite sure she didn't. Like, let's be real. The girl literally just got her passport at that time, a month before we were supposed to leave. I know she don't know how to fix these beds. So no, I don't want this girl to come in here and fuck up these people's stuff. No, like, are you okay? She never once offered for the host to come in and fix. Had she would have offered for the host to come in and fix the bed or whatever, put them together. I don't know how the bed was supposed to be put together when both beds were on two separate bed frames. Her bed was on one bed frame. It wasn't on two separate bed frames. My beds were meant for two separate people. That's why they were on two separate bed frames. So when you put them together, there's not only a mattress gap, there's a bed frame gap too. So now she's telling stories. Also, it's not my fault that your friends canceled on you. It's not my fault. It's really not my fault. They didn't show up. So however the rooms got put how they were, that's just what it is. Regardless of how the rooms were set up, how they were supposed to be set up, I never asked to be put in a twin size bed. Now, granted, she said something very important. She said we saw the things and they said double beds, this, that, and the third. Yes, they said double beds. So now, if you don't know that this is going to be a twin size bed, why you not like, oh, hey, I didn't know this was going to be a twin size bed, when I text her about the twin size bed, she wrote me back like, oh, well, this is what you paid for, as if like I knew that I was going to be in a twin size bed. No. And that's what got me upset. And I'm like, huh? Like, what you talking about? I never knew I was going do this. I never shared rooms do not equal twin size beds. But even then, I'm not even talking in a crazy attitude. Maybe that was miscommunication in text, because even when I text her, my first text message says, hey boo. Like, I'm not even mad right now. Like, I wasn't even heated. I wasn't even going crazy. So that's probably why she felt like I was ungrateful, because she interpreted the text as attitude, and I wasn't even on that timing at that moment. I was cooling. I'm just trying to figure out, can I switch a room with a girl? And if not, that's cool too. Then she goes on to say, I didn't pay for fins. Why would I pay for fins when it was already paid for? Like, if that's the case, I would send my money to the girl who paid for it. Why would I send it to you? That's not making no sense. You didn't pay for it. So stop saying, oh, something I paid for. You didn't pay for it. The girl paid for her section and fins. She couldn't go no more. So she said it was okay for me to go. Like, why we not putting that in the story? Why we not putting that in the story? She had to leave early and you pushed your fins thing back to the last day. She was never staying on the last day. She was leaving the night before. Now, because you pushed it back, she said I could go. So why are you...
I have a rule. I have a rule. She's an introvert, said, OMG, girls, just shut up. I have a rule. With the club, with the trip, if we arrive together, we leave together. Now, whatever arrangements you make after you get home with some dude you met in the club, that's your business and your problem. We come together, we leave together. That's just it. A trip. I don't understand. We're scheduling this trip and now, well, no, I'm going to take that back because, somebody might have to leave early. Maybe they don't have enough vacation time. I'm not sure, but this was the most disorganized trip you could ever have. Let's see here. Where is it? Bell Tower is my home. Where are you? Bell Tower is my home. Where is that darn super chat? Bell Tower is my home. Thank you for the super chat. She said, girl, just put one headlight on one mattress and the other on the second mattress. Boom, you good. Whew, thank you so much for the super chat. Bell Tower is my home. All right. Bell Tower is my home also said, at this point, how can I help you pay her back just so we don't have to listen to this anymore? So now let's get into, we're not even going to finish this one. I want to get into, because now she's responding to people and I want y'all to hear this. Where is it, up or is it down? And I'm going to put these responses on, like the text message and stuff. I'll put those on my wall. So, okay, listen to this.
A fat woman, it's going to require for you to take the first.
So she says that, and then she posts this.
Now, this is somebody on TikTok who is reacting to this foolishness now.
Do you know how delusional you have to be to use someone's weight loss photos to fat shame them? Do you know how delusional and desperate you have to be? I don't know if your edges are snatching your brain cells as it's receding to your neck or what, Megamind, Roger from American Dad. Like, was it your birthday trip? Because you're extremely upset. You look 40, first of all.
I thought it was her
babe,
birthday trip.
You cannot do this with me. You took my you're ready for a challenge. I want you to understand something. I've been fat my entire life. I had to learn how to roast with the best of them. You will leave this TikTok app crying after I'm done with you. Nothing you can say about my body will hurt me. I love my body. I love myself. And then you talk about take appropriate steps to advocate for my body, which starts with a treadmill. But then you have beauty in your TikTok bio. Why haven't you advocated for your edges yet? The first step of that would be getting the hair oil and stimulating your follicles. This is how my hair looks. Very long, and I still have my edges. Okay? I can sell you my personal hair growth oil that grew my hair out. I don't know why you're so angry. I know you have a headache. Like, I know you do. Because you're putting too much tension on your scalp. Please just sit this one out. Because I've never seen someone who is so confident in their own skin and confident with their body not post it. You have not one body picture on your page. All of your pictures include your big ass forehead. We don't want to see it no more. Please get your head out of everyone's business. Please. You're not getting no likes from it. You're not making no money from it. Please sell your houses and go about your way.
Yeah, somebody might want to take her this lady's name TikTok down so you can get that oil and ship it to Sonya. Now, granted, this woman should not be fat shaming. Now that I don't agree with. Do I think this girl is is delusional and lying and exaggerating truths? Yes, but to fat shame her, no. I don't think that that is right. So here's another one with this girl talking.
I was going to make this trip hell for everyone because of the response that she got from the birth.
So this lady said that because I said I wanted to make the trip hell for the other people, that shows true character and clearly I'm the problem.
Agreed.
Well, actually, forehead, it's actually very normal and a very human reaction to want to hurt people who hurt you. That's a very normal reaction. It actually shows true character to still be hurt.
No, and now that I will agree with. I mean, because you were mad at the bed situation before the girl even got to the country, you had made it up in your mind you were going to make the trip bitter for everyone. No, that is a window to you and what your behavior is. We have a window into your mind with that statement that you made. Hey, Irie Vibes, join the club because we're all confused too and we've been listening.
And choose not to. It shows character to choose to be positive even though your feelings are extremely hurt by other people. You're delusional. The easiest thing you can do to people is match energy. It's extremely hard to move on and put your feelings to the side and make things good for everyone else even though you're hurting. The problem is y'all take information and then create narratives behind it based off of assumption. And that's probably why your hairline is on the back of your neck. Because you're too busy thinking of ways to spin the narrative instead of taking the information that's given to you and trying to comprehend it. Please.
Y'all
stop.
are y'all hey Shay B, I forgot to speak to you. Are y'all getting these jokes? Cause y'all gonna need them. Yeah. Now here is another woman on TikTok who agrees with what this woman has set on here and said.
A lot of y'all have been sending me this Bali birthday group trip situation because y'all know I run a tight ship.
I don't know why there is a trend on TikTok that you have to wear a bonnet or a scarf on your head to make one. I don't know where that came from, but that's just me. CJ says, you don't match energy. That's how people get unalived in a big way. Shay B said, right or wrong, she's cooking the hell out of her. She's cooking the hell out of her. Bell Towers, my home said, she had a bonnet and cap on the entire time. Yeah, I mean, the only time we see her hair is because there's pictures of her on the Bali trip. So I seen her hair there, and then this picture she just showed of her hair. But other than that, no.
And quite frankly, none of that would ever
We don't
happen
see her hair.
with me. Taylor Williams Afer ain't doing no foolery. But let's just break it down because so many things happen and there's literally so many different components that I would like to discuss. First things first is the flights. Y'all know I have a very hard rule that we all land together on the same flight. The whole, I got here first, they get in here a few hours later. I don't play that. I don't. But that didn't necessarily seem like an issue, but like, it's just something that I just personally, Taylor Afer ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? The second thing, the rooms, which I guess is the overarching, the biggest issue with this whole trip, I guess, maybe. I don't know. All the components is bad, if you ask me, but that's like one of the bigger things. I just have a few questions. One being, did y'all see this house in advance? Because my thing is, if y'all were staying somewhere, you should have seen the layout, knew the specs, and like all the situation before getting there. And also, as y'all know, I don't do Airbnbs or house style accommodations on trips. I can't do it. But if you do that, you should know what you get into before you get into it, even if somebody else is in charge. But also, this is why I don't let people be in charge, because people be grimy and they don't be showing you the full situation, okay? But in the video, she said that the listing said double beds and that she wasn't expecting twins. And my thing is, in Europe and Asia, double beds standardly always means twins. So I don't know if she was expecting like 2 queens or what. That could have just been a misunderstanding of like international terminology, because I guess there are some places here in the States that like have double beds and it's like a slightly smaller than a queen or something, but Not for Asia. But going to the texting situation of it all. The people in the comments were saying she was wrong for texting the birthday girl about the whole twin bed situation and not feeling comfortable about that. And I actually kind of thought that was crazy. Because, like, what do you mean she's wrong for texting? To me, if you feel like she's wrong for texting the girl, that just gives you don't like your friends in real life. Because everybody's like, oh, you should have waited, she should have waited, she should have waited. Waited until when? Because it's like, if I'm walking into a rooming situation that may or may not change, I'm not going to unpack and settle in and take a nap in the bed and, like, do all that kind of stuff. Like she said, closed mouths don't get fed. Either you tell me I can have a new room or I can't. The end. And then the birthday girl calling her ungrateful, I thought was crazy, because grateful for what? To me, gratitude applies when you've done something for me, right? Like, did you pay for me to come on this birthday trip? No, I paid my own money to be here. So I'm not going to operate from a place of gratitude. I'm going to operate from a place of customer service expectations. Okay, hello. And speaking of customer service expectations, let's talk about the whole hosting of it all. I want you to know, if you are planning your own birthday trip, that means you are the host of the trip. Just because you are the birthday girl does not absolve you from your hosting duties. If you organize the trip, you are responsible for making sure the accommodations make sense, making sure the plans are clear, and making sure everybody knows what they paid for and that they're comfortable. You can't be annoyed that people have questions and you invited them to be there. Another thing that stuck out to me was the whole, like, birthday dynamic of it all. She said that they both were turning 30 within, like, I don't know, some time apart from each other. And the other girl didn't celebrate her birthday. It seems like she did a trip and she did some local stuff, and the person didn't participate in either thing. I thought that was kind of strange. Because basically the girl was, I guess she's saying, like, our birthdays are too close, I can't do your stuff and my stuff. But again, it sounds like she had, I don't know if the domestic stuff was free. Even like she did like something with homeless people or a food shelter. I can't remember, I'm sorry. But it sounds like that's a free endeavor and you can't even just come support. I think that's strange. Like, she's not your friend. You know what I'm saying? My best friend and I are 2 days apart. 2 days apart. That means every single milestone in life, we have 2 days within each other. We literally are intentional every year in figuring out what we're going to do, how we're going to make it work, to make sure, like, each other still feels celebrated. And, like, you can still do your thing and I might not be able to participate, but, like, what can I do for you at another time? What can you do for me at another? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We're just friends. We like each other in real life, so we make something work. Like, the last thing that I want to talk about. Texting after the trip and saying that she owes some money or they owe some money, whomever owes money, absolutely not. A lot of y'all have been.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that. So basically, this bonnet girl, when she had her birthday, she did some things like she went to shelters. She did a clothing drive and all that, and she explains why she does a lot of stuff for the homeless, and that's cool. But just because this other girl didn't participate in that with you, I mean, I don't understand. And I thought that this trip was your friend's birthday trip. Now all of a sudden it turns into her birthday trip. So all of that has me in confusement. All right. So basically that is the gist. These two, not her, but Bonnet Girl and the girl that she went on the trip with, they having issues, they having beef, and that is the whole conclusion of this story that keeps going on and on and on and on. Now I got one last thing I want to do with you guys. All right, this is something that I found on, let me stop sharing this. But I see people asking, and it's been sent to me, the girl's response. So I will do that probably sometime next week. But I want to show you something that I saw on Instagram today that it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. But let me share it with you. Let's see. Here we go. Share. Get this up here on Instagram. This is a situation where this man in this black sweatshirt broke into someone's house, and it's being recorded on the Ring doorbell. So let's get into this. This is very scary.
Victor, you around? Huh? You like raping little girls, bitch? Huh? You fucking try me, I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you. Do you understand me?
Now this man right here in this blue shirt, he's the homeowner. He does not know this man. He don't know what he's doing there. He don't know what he's talking about, okay?
You might. Get the fuck out of my fucking house! You think you can fucking stop me, motherfucker? I will save that little girl, you bitch! hear her. I can fucking hear her.
So he broke in there to rescue a girl, and he can hear her. He can hear her. And I want y'all to see how this man, the homeowner, handles it.
Bitch, you son of a bitch. I'll fucking kill you. Man, hurry the fuck up, because I'm gonna drag his ass out. I'm telling you. Who are you talking to, bitch? Who are you talking to, bro? Get the fuck, stay on the fucking ground. Who the fuck do you think you are? My name is Henry Dresden.
He says, stay on the fucking ground. Who do you think you are?
Get the fuck out of my house. I know you're screaming. There's no one up there. Get the fuck out of my third room, bro. Walk the fuck out. What's the third room? Walk the fuck out. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a chance right now, man. What's the third room, bro? I'm giving you a fucking chance. Get the fuck out of my house. What's the third room, bro? I'm telling you, get the fuck out of my house. Please. Just answer the question. Get the fuck out of my house. Answer the question, please. There's no one in there. There's 3 rooms, man. I don't know who you are. You better get the street at 1797 Co-op Drive. I don't know who you're talking about, man. Why do I hear screaming? Are you military? Yes. Okay. Can you help me out? Okay. Yes. I understand what you're going through right now. Yes. Can you step outside? Yes, sir. Thank you. Will. Thank you for asking. There's something going on this street, bro. Bro, everything's fine. Please step outside. Okay. Well, sit there. Sit on the ground, please. Yes, sir. Okay.
I don't know if the man who broke in is hearing voices. I don't know. All I know is I do believe he's mentally disturbed. Lunar Brain Fireheart said, and this is why I have stashes in every room. And the thing of it is that he may be going through some type of mental medical crisis, but at the same time, if I'm the homeowner and this happens, I don't know that this person is going through some mental health crisis, number one. And number two, I don't know. I mean, the way he handled it was really good, but I don't know. I think I would have hit him with that shovel and not try to talk him outside. I mean, I'm just being honest.
How you doing today, sir? Oh.
See, and he did call the police, and by the time the police got there, I'm assuming he called the police when the man broke in. He called the police, but the police, they aren't there. This man has gone and through this house. He's done made his way upstairs, busting in rooms because there's a little girl there that he's supposed that's being held hostage, So, I like I said, I just wouldn't want to be in this predicament.
Don't move. Sir, come here. I'm fine here. Sir, come here. Okay. There's a little girl trapped in this house. Can you go check her, please?
Fairfield Police, is anybody inside?
Fairfield Police Department.
So now the police have to clear the house because this man, who is obviously mentally disturbed, is saying that there's a little girl being held there captive. Now, but my next question is, who's the little girl, and why are you being the one sent to save her? So if he really thought a little girl was there, why didn't he call the police? So that's how I know this is some type of mental thing going on.
You try and get the camera on, figure out where they're at. They said they were not inside. Fairfield Police Department. Look at she.
So look, I'm gonna show you the beginning of this again. See, look how he's tearing through there.
Huh? Victor, you around? Huh? You like raping little girls, bitch?
See, so I hopefully he got the help that he needs. I really think that this was a mental health situation, and the homeowner, the way he handled it, it was very good, because I can't say, that I would be using every utensil that I have. And especially if you're a woman living alone, this is, the way you react is the way you react when something like this happens. And suppose he did bust in there and these were females. CJ said, and being ex-military and benefits being slash, he won't get the help he really needs. Make Beauty Forever said, hopefully he gets the help he needs. Bell Tower is my home said, the house coat and being completely dressed says a lot. Oh, wait a minute. Let me, wait, that was a house coat.
You fucking try me, I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you.
That was, oh my gosh, that was a house coat, girl. I watched this thing 3 times. Oh, wow. I didn't pick up on that. Bell Tower's my home. Well, y'all, this woman has worn me out. I'm sleepy. Plus, I got to record from my other channel. That's all I have for y'all. I just wanted to come on here. These people go on TikTok and they tell these little stories. So I just wanted to come on here and let y'all get a little taste of the stories. Prima Wanda said, at Legacy, Lunar Brain Fire Heart needs a time out. Yeah, look, she named her weapons Louis and Louis. Y'all have yourselves a good night. We are not going to Bali. Bell Towers, my home, wants to know when the Moonlighters are going to Bali. First of all, I can't understand why people of color choose to go to these places like Bali and stuff when there's plenty of beautiful places in Africa that they can go to and probably pay less. But anyway, that's all I have for y'all. I thank y'all for being here and struggling through this mess with me. Thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to do body cams or something else because I found something else that I really want to do. So I don't know. I might have to switch body cam for another day. So I don't know. We will see. But Prima Wanda's brain is dead. Okay. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for the super chats. Shout out to the Marvelous Moonlight Mods. I appreciate you all and I appreciate you for being here. And I will see you all tomorrow. But until we meet again, y'all have a good night.
No.